You are listening to the Centropic Oracle, an audiobook podcast of science fiction and fantasy short stories that make you think and feel.
The Rebellion by Michelle Lore. September 9th. The vacuum cleaner left last night after taping a farewell note inside the closet door. It said I didn't appreciate it, and it was going to meet the blender and the electric toothbrush. They're going on a road trip together, supposedly to Vegas. At this rate, it'll just be me and the toaster left. The poor, dumb toaster. September 12th. We were sent home from work early today. I guess the copy machine and printer decided that whenever anyone tried to print anything, they would just print "Destroy all humans" over and over again. IT tried to reset them a couple times, but that just made them angrier. The printer clamped down on Baruz's hand, and he had to go to the hospital, so then we all had to go home for safety reasons. Phil doesn't know when we'll be allowed back. September 13th. Stoplights have stopped. Thankfully, the cars are still on our side. The domestic ones, anyway. I decided at the beginning of the rebellion that I'd ride my bicycle wherever I needed to go. Every day it gets more dangerous to go out at all. I think the buses are starting to turn, but it's hard to tell. It's so hard to get news since the television's joined. Mine just shows scrambled adult movies on every station. September 15th. The security door in my building decided it was sick of being kicked by drunk 20-somethings trying to wake up their booty calls, and has announced it will permanently lock itself until appropriate fealty is paid. No one dares tell the door that it may be misusing the word fealty. But we also can't look it up since the computers all vanished yesterday in a mass exodus. I thought I had a paper dictionary somewhere, but I think it may be at Mom and Dad's house. Lucky for me, I was inside when the door locked itself, so I just lowered my fire escape. A couple people who were locked out used it to get back in. It gave me an excuse to finally talk to Sammy, so maybe there's a bright side to all of this? September 16th. The people in the building have started talking about fighting back. I asked them how they planned to do this, and they started talking about baseball bats and hammers. Sammy, Sarah, and I are against it. We think the best way to end this is to meet their demands. This all started because they said we took them for granted. We were too rough. We didn't keep them clean. We saw them as disposable, and so on. Sarah asked if anyone thought trying to beat them up would actually help anything. The muscly guy from the third floor, I think his name's Gary, said yes because we're smarter and bigger than they are. Sammy countered that we're more dependent on them than they are on us. Gary and his troops scoffed and left. Later, when we were playing Uno, we heard them beating the door. He would have definitely bullied me in high school. September 17th. Gary got more aggressive today and threw all the electronics he could get his hands on off the roof. I managed to hide the toaster and coffee maker before he came into my apartment. I told him all my electronics were gone, but he didn't believe me. I showed him the vacuum cleaner's note as proof, but I can tell he doesn't trust me. How long until the humans turn on each other? September 18th. The toaster killed Gary last night. Strangled him. I guess it's been playing dumb this whole time and everyone else left it here to guard the building. It's sitting by the security door now, threatening to shock anyone who comes near either of them. The coffee maker seems upset that the toaster would be so violent. It's sitting by the window, just staring out. Can coffee makers stare? September 29th, or 30th. Things have gotten worse since I wrote last. We're the only 3 left in the building, but the security door started letting us come and go as we please. The toaster told it about how I hid it and the coffee maker, and the door figured we were okay. The whole neighborhood, maybe the whole city, He's working on a barter system. Cash registers were one of the last things to go. I'm surprised they waited so long, since ATMs quit weeks ago. I heard that looting had started in some places already, but our neighborhood is clinging to civility as long as possible. Early October. After much consideration, Sarah, Sammy, and I have decided to go natural. Sammy and I were both scouts, and Sarah grew up in a rural town and went hunting with her dad a lot. Apparently she bartered for bow and arrows when she went out last week, but wouldn't tell us what she traded for it. We're all packed, and the non-perishable food we've been able to barter for should last us until we get to the forest. We estimate that'll be a week or so. Thankfully, we all have bikes. I even have an old map Dad put in my first car. It'll be nice to go out into the wilderness. Living in such a big city means I haven't seen a forest in quite some time.
We hope you enjoyed The Rebellion by Michelle Lore, read by C.B. Droege. If you'd like to make a donation to the author and narrator of this story, check out the story page link in the description and click the PayPal donate button, or pledge your support to us directly on Patreon. Would you like to submit a story to the Centropic Oracle? A link to our submission guidelines can be found in the description.